Hey guys, this is Jason here. This is part two, basically a second episode of what if I told you to pay attention when your market changes. You want to pay attention to when market changes, and so what I'm going to talk about today in the Forest Lake, Minnesota market is the closure of a pizza restaurant called Chanticleer Pizza. Now, Chanticleer, according to the closure sign, has been servicing the Forest Lake community for 20 years. This is not a pizza type of closure. This is a they cite the reasons cited on the closed sign are as follows. They cited the road construction currently on the main drag in front of their business, which is very true. That road has been under construction now for the past year and a half. We're entering our second summer season of that road being rebuilt with roundabouts and a new interior barrier being built on the road. Now, I don't know to what extent that this affected their business, but it's the second reason that caught my attention, because it's a big problem in this market. And they cited labor staffing, which in this market, as I've said in previous episodes, has been a crisis for a long period of time. Restaurants are not able to keep their places staffed. And so you're asking yourself, why is this a problem? Well, let me explain the problem. I've talked to the owner of Chanticleer a couple times as I've picked up. The problem with if you have a labor shortage is if you have a labor shortage, you can't produce enough product to provide enough profit to keep your fixed bills paid, things like rent, because this place wasn't a strip mall, power, electricity, and things of that sort. Things that are fixed expenses that you're not going to be able to change unless you renegotiate a lease or shorten your hours, which this place, of course, it didn't make any sense for this place to do. Chanticleer produced very good pizza. I've had it a few times. I've been in there and picked up, quite a few times as far as it's quality stuff. So why is a labor shortage going to impact a restaurant? Well, that's pretty simple. Why do we have a labor shortage in Forest Lake? Well, I've explained this before. We have a labor shortage here because we have almost no mass transit service in Forest Lake at all. We have no connection between the Twin Cities metropolitan area, despite being in the taxing district for the Metropolitan Council. We are a Met Council county in a Met Council county without metropolitan transit service at all. There are microbus shuttles which come from other places within the Twin Cities. So a park and ride in nearby Blaine has got one of them. You could take a bus to Blaine and get picked up by one of these micro van buses into Forest Lake. Same goes for a park and ride in Lionel Lakes. You can go up 35E and get, but these are reservation only bus service. It's not a fixed service. It's not a scheduled service at all. So without that type of service, employees in Minneapolis and St. Paul cannot commute to jobs in Forest Lake. They're certainly not going to service the hours that a lot of these places need employees for, such as a pizza place, which closes at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. There's not going to be a bus available to get these people back home. So what effect does this closure have? The answer is I've already seen it. Papa John's is a lot busier than it used to be. It's not the same as the Pizza Hut closure a month ago. Pizza Hut, of course, has a very substandard product. Their pizza's crap. But this place is not. Chanticleer has very good pizza. They're a chain that is within the Twin Cities metropolitan area, but this was their northernmost location, Forest Lake. But now it's closed. They have other locations further south of here, in the major suburbs of the metropolitan area, but they're closed here now. And most of their business, I believe, has shuffled off to Papa John's, which is actually not as good as Chanticleer was, but it's the next best option that we have up here now. Papa John's is probably the best pizza that Forest Lake has. So all of Chanticleer's business went there. The other thing that Chanticleer had to do in the wake of a labor shortage, and this did affect us drivers quite a bit, they dumped all of their in-house delivery staff and went entirely to third-party delivery for the last 2 months of their existence. The owner explained that that their in-house drivers were just not as reliable as the third-party delivery drivers were, which I can actually completely get. So this is a big market change for us here. A high-quality pizza place joint closes because of lack of labor and a labor shortage, which has crippled our market for quite some time. The labor shortage has also crippled our market to the point where we have some of the longest driver wait times in the nation in Forest Lake. We have the longest wait times for customers to get the orders in the nation in Forest Lake. That much has been verifiably proven. Average wait time for a delivery on a third-party app in this market is 46 minutes. We have a far worse app time than even a busier market such as New York City. So a labor crunch does hurt a market tremendously. Hurts drivers in that we don't get our orders nearly as fast. We spend a lot of time waiting for offers or for orders to come out of the respective kitchens. According to my own tracking back in April, this is a 12-minute per stop average in this market. So labor does affect things. So you're paying attention. I'm paying attention to what the effect this closure has on our market. And the answer is Papa John's got a lot busier. Papa John's already struggles with wait times as it stands. You know, unless the offer is very good at a Papa John's, I'm likely not taking it because I just know I'm facing a 20-minute wait. They're doing the best they can. I will say this much. Papa John's is working very hard to keep people employed there, to keep their labor coming in. Most places you have to pay up to $20, roughly $20 per hour just to get employees in the door. You can make more in a restaurant kitchen here than you can working for a bank. That is the level of our restaurant staffing crisis here. So there it is. Another market change that I'm paying attention and monitoring, because we should be doing that. You should be monitoring your market for when a restaurant closes, what change it has, what effect it has on the market. This one was huge. It turned Papa John's into an even bigger competitor than they already were. And it affects us tremendously. It probably affects Domino's substantially as well, but Domino's doesn't use third-party apps here. They keep their deliveries in-house. So those drivers are probably feeling it there too. Pizza Hut, of course, is closed and has been for a month now. But that's because their product is terrible. Their labor shortages were also very acute. But they never cited it in their closing sign. Chanticleer did. So there it is, guys. What if I told you that you need to pay attention to your market, which restaurants are closing, which ones are opening, what effect it's going to have on you, what it's going to do for your wait times, what it's going to do for your volumes. The Chanticleer closure in Forest Lake is huge. It made Papa John's an even bigger force than it already is. So there it is, guys. Enjoy your Independence Day holiday. Happy 250th birthday, America. You folks have a great weekend, and as always, peace out, homies.